here with ACC Commissioner John Swafford. Commissioner, first of all, I want to ask about the concerns about the financial struggles with ESPN and what happened a few weeks ago when they had to do some layoffs and all. Did that concern you guys at all, and what was your conversations with them as you guys were trying to go forward with them?
Well, I immediately had some conversations with John Skipper, which the president of ESPN, and we talk fairly often, so that's not unusual. But he immediately gave me absolute full assurance that the layoffs and their sort of readjustments within the company in terms of their efficiencies does not affect the launch of the ACC ESPN channel one bit, that they're totally unrelated. So everything is full go on our channel launch in 2019. We launched the part of it, the digital part of it this year, tremendously effective. We went way beyond the number of events that we anticipated in the first year from a digital standpoint. And a lot of great work is being done with our institutions in terms of what we need to have ready for the 2019 launch on our campuses. And each meeting that we have, including this one, there's a significant amount of time spent with our ESPN representatives on sort of what I call the practicalities of all of this being ready to go in 2019 when we launch. So we are full go ahead on that, and I don't anticipate any changes there at all.
I know they've lost a lot of subscriptions in the last few years and everything. Have they told you or given you some kind of idea how they're going to replace those revenues lost and what their idea is maybe about going forward with that?
Well, to some degree, they're a very progressive company, and they're getting into the direct-to-consumer distributions. They're getting into the smaller packages in addition to what they traditionally have done, and the comfort that we have is that you can't have a better partner in the distribution of live sports events than ESPN and Disney. They know how to do it. They've made adjustments over the years. They're making some adjustments now. And I fully expect it to be totally what we would have expected it to be. If there are different distribution methodologies going forward, then they'll be right in the middle of it, and so we feel really good about it, both from a revenue standpoint and exposure standpoint, and that hasn't changed one bit.
I know the ACC's revenue from the ACC Network tied into how it performs. Are you confident it will bring in the expected revenue, even with the league, with the ESPN struggling right now, that you guys are going to, they've reassured you're going to get that expected revenue that you're expecting out of this network?
That hadn't changed at all, and with ESPN, we do analysis on an ongoing basis in terms of subscriptions, what our projections are, what the distribution mechanisms will be, and that has not changed one bit. We just completed a set of analytics with ESPN on that, so we continue to feel very bullish about the revenue generation opportunity that is there.
In the past, Florida State in football won national championships, 3 during their time in the ACC. How big was it to have someone else like Clemson last year bring home a national championship and kind of help the overall image of this conference as a football conference?
It's tremendous. Clemson the last 2 years really being in both national championship games and winning one of them great for Clemson. Is great for the entire ACC. And you look back over the last 4 years now, the ACC has won 2 of the last 4 national championships in football. We've had a team in the playoffs each of the 3 years of the college football playoff. We've won 5 Orange Bowls in a row. That's 3 different teams. This past year, we had 11 teams with winning records. We had 9 bowl teams, which is the most the league has ever had. Clemson's toughest games getting to that national championship were against NC State and Pitt, both conference games. So that's good to see. Our teams are playing the out-of-conference games that they need to play, and more importantly, winning our fair share of those games. The involvement of Clemson's program under Dabo and couple it with the Florida State program, with the rise of a number of other programs in our league, I think we're at the strongest point we've ever been from a football standpoint. Clemson has really led the way this past year and has been right in the middle of that for a number of years now. Clemson, since Dabo has taken over, has really established itself year in and year out as a premier program, just like Florida State has.
Last question. Are there any discussions about in the future, maybe when you look at football and the football championship, maybe doing it a different way, like maybe breaking up the divisions and going like basketball and you just go one straight, alignment, or do you stay with the divisions? And, what's the talk there? Has there been any talk about the future?
That's really, there hadn't been any talk for a couple of years now in terms of divisions. I think people are settled in, are comfortable with them. We're having great success as a league with these divisions, and so that's not a point of discussion at this point.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner.